What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Stump the Chump. This is the series where you guys send me positions and I have 5 minutes to find the best move. If I don't find it in 5 minutes or less, you've successfully stumped the chump. Let's go find some positions. All right, first position is from Moritz. I'm going to start the timer. And here we go. It's white to play. Black has just played bishop h5. Okay. Okay, so material looks pretty even. King looks somewhat exposed. We can take advantage of that. This is defended, so we have some time. I don't see any other like immediate threats from black. Maybe they could do this and create some checks. I mean, I guess I want to maybe think about taking this, because if takes, I can bring the rook down, which looks very good. King here. Yeah, that's going to be very nasty for black, and if they go back, same thing. The question is, what if they don't take the knight? Do I have a good follow-up? There's knight here. Oh, the queen covers that. I mean, that's kind of slow. So knight takes e6 is an idea. I'm just checking for some other moves. Oh, knight to d7 actually looks pretty good. I don't think g4 makes any sense. So it looks like it's one of these two moves from a quick think. Okay, the question is, which one creates a more immediate threat? I mean, that's good because I'm going to win a piece. So black has to deal with that, I think. Even if rook a1, I can just trade, put my king here. My king is fine. The knight still is ready to go to f6. I don't know what black's going to do. So that looks really, really strong. What about something like king g7? Then my queen can come in. Oh, we don't have knight f8, though. I keep wanting to play knight f8. We don't have it. What do I do against king g7? Check, and let's say the king just goes back. Maybe we bring the rook over. Well, I definitely feel like it's this. This one actually, let's see. Would that be any better? The idea of going here and checkmate. Knight takes e6. Let's say rook a1. And then what? Well, then I could play knight f8 because the rook would be hanging. So knight f8. King like here. Yeah, I don't really see the follow-up. Takes. And I'm losing the rook. Okay. I want to say it's knight d7. Feel like I'm missing something. I do feel like I'm missing something. I just don't see the follow-up. That's the issue. I would love to play rook like over here, but I just can't do that. Rook a1. There is check. And if the bishop blocks, what? Knight here, check. Takes. No, that doesn't make sense. Bishop blocks queen here, but then my rook might be... Which move is it, guys? Which move? I don't know. I don't see it. I feel like this shouldn't be this hard. Knight comes in. Say rook a1. Of course, black could do something else too, like bring the queen back. Might change things a little bit. Or even like actually queen b2 is maybe another way to put it, pressure there. Knight to f8. King goes back. Check. I do have the rook that can come in. "24 seconds. Okay. Which one am I gonna go with? I'm going to say knight takes e6, but I don't really see the reason why. So let me stop the timer. Let's turn on the engine. Let's see what we have. Knight takes e6 is what I'm going with. And the engine says knight to d7. Ah, had a feeling I was going to guess the wrong one. So why is this so good? What am I missing? Let's say queen takes b3, it says. Okay, what are we doing here? Oh, rook to c8. Ah, that's the idea. Then you have check and mate. Well, that's, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Okay, so let's go back. And the other move was rook here I was considering. That prevents that. So now knight f6 check, king g7. We just take the bishop. Ah, so, and if black tries to save the bishop with like bishop g6, oh, this also just leads to mate. And then rook c8. This was the move that I just totally missed. Totally didn't even think about this. Yeah. So basically, if black does something else to like save the fork on the king and the bishop or something over here, you play rook c8. And if they pin it, you can just play knight f6. And you're winning this. And if king g6, yeah, I guess you can, yeah, you're still winning the bishop. You just force it. Oh, it's even better. You're just getting mate eventually. That's really bad news. Yeah, you can take it now. With check. Okay. Wow, nice position. You stumped the chump. And I had it. I had a feeling that I should have, yeah. Nice position. All right, let's see who's next. All right, next position is from Creo. Let me reset the timer, start it. And oh my, this looks like it's a composed puzzle, maybe? Or maybe it came from a game, but looks very much like a composed puzzle. Okay, great. Well, my instinct is like, go here and get a knight, because if you get a queen, let's see what happens. You just get mated. Yeah, you just lose immediately. So that's not an option. So I think you have to get a knight, right? Let's see. Are there any other moves? I guess you could play knight f4, but can you play knight f4? Because it stops this. You just take it and then you can get a queen. What if, let's see, what if black just like moves the king over to get the pawn? Then you have a fork. Takes. You're probably going to win some things here and maybe win the game. So that's an interesting move. What would black play, though? What if something like... Stop this with the bishop, maybe like bishop here or here. You can take this. No, then you can't take that. So, okay, knight f4, bishop maybe here or here. What am I doing then? I don't see anything. Because I can't get a queen or it just gets captured. I don't have any more good forks. I can take this pawn. Nope, then I'm getting mated. I actually can't move the knight because it has to stay there. So I think you got to get a knight, right? You got to get a knight. And then what? Let's say the king moves here. What am I going to do with two knights? What am I going to do with two knights? What if I go check and then get a queen? Would that be an idea? Knight here, check, king over. Ah, queen takes, knight here, forks those guys. Okay, so knight e5. Seems to be a good idea. I don't really care where the king goes, if it goes anywhere else. Sorry, anywhere else, I'm just going to get a queen, right? So here, if king here, we get a queen. We have the fork, and if the bishop takes, we just get a queen because this is no longer mate. Although it's still not a good position for us, right? Still a really bad position because after rook here, if this bishop moves anywhere, it's over. So obviously I'm not going to have time to solve everything, but if I had to guess, I would say 95. And yeah, 95. Check. That's my move. I'm going to go with that. And let's see what Stockfish says. And Stockfish says 95 check. How about that? And it's a draw. It's a draw. If you do anything else, f8 knight, get a queen, or knight f4, you end up getting mated. Okay, kind of like we saw. So yeah, 95 check. If bishop takes, we get a queen, rook here, and yeah, you'd probably just have perpetual check. Okay. Oh, you have a stalemate. That was the idea. I see. You just force him to take your queen eventually. Okay. All right. I didn't see that. I didn't see the stalemate idea, but I saw that the only move was 95. So I guess I get partial credit. Nice position. Although that does look like it was a composed puzzle, but that's fine. I don't mind those every now and then. All right, let's see who's next. Our next position is from Reduxino, and let's reset, start the timer. We're black. A3 has been played. Here we go. So what is happening here? What is happening here? I really want to play 93 because if this, we have checkmate because the king can't do anything because the bishop. So that means this is not an option. Queen has to move somewhere, most likely. Can't go here. It could go here, but we have this move working these guys. King has to go over. And then we can take the rook, although we lose our rook. So, ooh, that's interesting. So here, queen f3. What do we do against queen f3? So we take that, king goes there, we take the rook. We lose our rook, but we can just castle. And I think our position is okay. We're actually threatening to trap the queen. Our king is safe. White's king is not really that safe. Okay, so I still like that as an option. Does white have any other moves? Or do we have any other moves that make sense? Knight c3 almost looks cool, but doesn't really trap the queen. And after the queen moves, I don't think we have much. Let's see. I don't think taking here makes sense. Retreating looks really bad because c4 and we're in trouble. So it's probably going to be knight e3. I'm expecting queen f3. What about something like maybe h4? We could take that with check if we wanted. Oh, that's checkmate. That's checkmate. What am I saying? Yeah, so it has to be queen f3. And takes king there. I wonder if we can even take here. Let that happen. Check. King goes over. It's almost mate. Not quite. Regardless, I think 93 is the best move. Looks like the only way to like not lose something. I mean, I guess you could trade. No, trading is bad because this. Yeah, it's got to be 93. I'm gonna stop the timer. I'm gonna say it's 93. Let's turn on the engine. And Stockfish says 93. How about that? And it says equal. So interesting. I thought we were going to get in a little better position, but I guess it's just pretty equal. Queen f3. Knight takes c2. King d1. I just realized this whole time I haven't been turning on the engine. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, I apologize for that. I'll edit some screenshots or something into the video. Anyway, there you go. You can follow along now. It's actually saying instead of knight takes a1, it's better to just play knight c6. Interesting. So what actually happens here? Knight takes a1, queen takes a8, castles, and then just queen e4. And this is slightly better for white. Okay, interesting. So knight c6 we're supposed to play, and then what happens if this gets kept? Oh, we have the fork. Right. So that can't get happen. Okay. All right. So interesting position. Knight e3 was the move. I apologize that I wasn't turning on the engine. I will do that going forward. And let's see who's next. All right, next position is from Viper. I think it's how you say that. Let me reset the timer. We'll start the timer. Here we go. Okay, black's just played knight to d4. Obviously hitting the queen. There's a checkmate, or potentially a checkmate threat here. I guess it's not really mate. We can slide over, but still lots of scary stuff happening. Okay. What opening is this from? Anyway, somehow we got a fork here. Interesting. Okay, so let's just see. Obvious move would be something like queen to d3. Get out of the attack from the knight, protect this fork. The issue could be check. We can slide over. Actually looks okay. There is going to be queen takes g2, and we have to watch out for this and this. The other thing is black could just take here right away. That... It's pretty scary. What else can we do though? If we don't move the queen, we're losing it with check, which has gotta be bad news. Yeah, so for that reason, I feel like we have to play like queen d3. Queen d1, we get mated. Queen here, we lose the queen. Queen here doesn't really make sense. Does queen h3 make sense? Check, king goes over, check. No, it doesn't make sense. Check, king goes over here, then we get mated. Yeah, no, queen h3. All right, so queen d3. That's like the only move that looks like it's even playable. Unless I'm missing some crazy idea. Queen d3. No. Like g3 takes. Can we get away with that? So we'd have a rook and a bishop. We'd have a rook and a bishop for the queen. And it looks like we would deal with our threats temporarily. Something like queen here. We'd have to drop the bishop back. Or actually, no, maybe we could just do this. Okay, so maybe g3 is an idea. Just give up the queen to get out of this mess. Our knight's trapped, though, so we're going to be down material. I don't like it. Let's compare that to queen d3. Let's say knight takes here. What can we even do at that point? Queen g3. We're going to be losing a rook there. Takes. That looks like it could be a relatively even position. I don't know, guys. I feel like g3 is an option, but... Okay, so queen d3, g3. But actually, queen d3, queen takes, king over, queen takes g2 looks really bad. Because this threat is huge, this threat is huge. And we just have like nothing happening. Yeah, I think we got to play g3, even if it's not awesome. I think we got to play g3, sack the queen back, and then just consolidate into a somewhat playable position. That's my idea, g3. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna say g3. I could be wrong, but let's see what the engine says. All right, and Stockfish says queen takes f7. What? Queen takes f7. Okay, so next move was g3. So I was on to the right idea, sort of, except I completely missed queen takes f7. So what's happening here after just like... It's not even showing knight takes c2. What's up with this? So do we have some sort of like threat here? Oh, just d3. And we're fine. Interesting. Okay, and then the best way for black to approach is knight takes f2. And we just take it. Check. King f1. Queen takes c4. Queen e2. Wow. Okay. For some reason, For some reason, I just thought this move was kind of pointless because it just didn't look like it did much. I guess the idea is we move the queen somewhere that defends the f2 pawn, and that's the only place, really. Because if you go like the e3, you get forked. You can't go to g3, you can't stay there, you can't go to e2. So you have to find a place where you can defend f2. And I guess basically what we're saying is this fork over here is not that big of a deal. We've already won the rook here. It's kind of just evening out if black goes that route. And it's more important that we defend this. Interesting. And if we do play g3, takes, yeah, just queen f6, and black is just kind of like a, yeah, bishop e2, right? Black's just ahead in some material. Huh. Okay, nice position. By here, you stump the chump. I did not see queen takes f7. I mean, I saw it, but I didn't realize that it was the best move. Good job. Let's go on to the next position. All right, next position is from tapping. Let me reset the timer, start the timer. We are black. Bishop to b4, I believe, is just played. Okay, and so 3 pawns against the bishop. Interesting, and then 2 rooks. Wow, okay, so I'm not awesome at endgames like this, but I will do my best. So first thing, I'm kind of like checking the king to see like what's going on. So we have him cut off here. We could potentially maybe put our king here and make like sort of a box here, and maybe white can get mated if they're not careful. That's one thing. The other thing is I don't want to lose my pawns. So like I have to be careful playing a move like this because, you know, this could happen. And if once I lose a couple pawns, I'm going to lose my winning chances. Yeah, so there's like a couple ways white could play here, or if I move my king, white could play here and pile up on this pawn, and then it's probably not going to be good. And I don't have an immediate way to threaten checkmate, so maybe I could push this pawn first to try to create... Actually, this is forces the king up, the rook comes over, that's checkmate. So that's kind of threatening mate in 2, now that I look at it. So that's pretty annoying. How does white stop that? How does white stop that? You can't use this rook. Maybe rook c3, so here. And then what would I do at that point? If I try to bring the king up, I mean, I think if we trade, I think trading rooks is probably beneficial, because if you trade, like, let's just say all the rooks were gone, I'm pretty sure 3 pawns is enough that eventually you can just push them forward, and white's going to have to at some point sacrifice, and you're probably going to be able to win. So trading rooks could be good. So if we go here, I just don't want to do it and lose a pawn in the process. I have to, like, not lose a pawn. So I could do something like bring this rook over to threaten a trade of 1 pair of rooks. I like to move e4. I think that's maybe the best chance we have. G4, I don't know if that works. Takes, check. King can go here. We can bring the rook back, which threatens mate, but it's... Is it easy to stop? King here, rook here, king here. Ah, that's an idea too. King f5, we're threatening checkmate. This rook could come over. So, I mean, both of these pawn moves look legitimate. King f5, I don't think makes a lot of sense, just because of this move. And we don't have a way to just checkmate right away. Wait a second, or do we? Check, king goes over, check. Oh, wait a minute. King f5, if the rook goes there, we do have this, and if the king goes over, that's going to be mate. So the king has to come... No, the king can't go that way. Hold on a second. Yeah, after check, the king goes here. Do we still have that same idea? Pushing one of the pawns forward, check, king here. check, king here, check, king here or here. We could trade a rook. Okay, so, man, I need more than 5 minutes for this position. I'm just kind of slow. I definitely like king f5 and e4 the best. This is actually better than I thought because of this idea. Now, I don't know if white can maybe just stop it with something like that. Ideally, I like putting my king there because it's really just cutting off everything that white can do with the king. If I had to guess, I'm going to say it's king f5 or e4. I'm going to go with king f5. But it looks like there actually might be multiple winning ways, potentially any of these three moves. Since I'm running out of time, I'll say king f5. So let's stop this. Let's turn on the engine. This is a pretty interesting position. So, all right, and the engine says rook f to f2. Okay, so clearly I was way off, and not even close. Rook f to f2. First of all, so before I look at that move, I want to see what's wrong with my idea. So king f5, rook to d2, or bishop to d2. So just blocking off the rook. And then you don't really have any more threats. And if you just trade this, this is pretty equal. Huh. Interesting. So yeah, I guess that was pretty simple to stop. What about e4? This is my other idea. The idea here is that you're threatening checkmate. Again, rook d2. So it's pretty much the same plan for white. Just block off this rook and it gives white's king options, places to move. Takes, f5. This is actually still okay for black. Black has an advantage here, and you're getting the pawns going. Let's see what's going on now with rook f to f2, which I clearly did not see. Rook f2. What are you threatening by doing this? Like, what's the threat? The threat is e4. Okay. By the way, if you didn't know that, you could just push this little button over here, and it shows you, like, if you had an extra move, Stockfish will tell you what the threat is that you would be wanting to play. So e4. I see. So, okay, here's one thing that's going on. In all the other lines, white was playing rook to d2 to stop us from cutting off the king like this, right? And then white's king was fine. It could just kind of run away. When we play here, this move is no longer an option. There's no way to cut this off. So we're basically guaranteeing that we have the king cut off here by doing this, which seems to be the idea. And then we can probably think about, at some point, cutting off this rank and then maybe getting checkmate somehow. So that seems to be kind of the idea. So rook c4 stops e4. And now we play king f5, probably threatening this again. Let's see. Oh, now we're just threatening this. King here. Yeah, it looks like we're getting in some kind of a mating net. So interesting. Rook a6 is the move. Wait, rook a6? What? I'm sorry, rook a6? This move? Oh, right. The rook is hanging. Sorry. I'm like, we're giving away a rook? I see. Interesting. So I'm going to make a bad move, and I want to just see how this plays out. Rook to g2, king to h3, rook to h2, king to g3. Okay, eventually it's going to play g4. I don't know why we're repeating, but okay, rook here. Oh, and we have mate. And what if the king goes the other way? Again, g4. Also mate. Ah. So, okay, I see. I see. So basically, once we get the rooks established on this rank, the king is pretty much stuck. And then it's only a matter of time before we follow up with our king. Now we've taken away all of these squares and the back rank. And it's going to just lead to some sort of a mate once we can, you know, push the pawn, get the rooks in the right position. And apparently white really has no way to stop that. Computer says rook a6 is the best chance, but we still play rook g2. King h3, check. We do this dance again. Actually, it says you can play this way now. Okay. it's repeating for a little bit, but eventually it's going to say the best move. So I don't know why engines do this sometimes, but rook to b2, rook h to g2, and eventually we play g4 check. Okay. And yeah, you force the rook to take it, because if here, this is checkmate. Sorry, that's the idea. Wow. Okay, so that's not easy to see in 5 minutes for sure, but basically, I think I explained it already. Once you get control of this second rank, so the king can never kind of escape that way, white's done for. And you can use your king like this, and then eventually you push this forward, and you're in a mating net, and white has to give up the rook. Check. And then you can take now, and if this you take, yeah. Okay, cool. So that's a nice nice position. I like that. That was actually instructive for me to understand that the important thing here is that you had the king cut off. You just needed to make sure that white couldn't play rook to d2 and take that away. So really interesting position. Hope you guys learned something from that. I know I did. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. As always, stay sharp, play smart, take care.